If I wanted to be like Frank, I would probably wear this mask throughout this whole review. And I just don't think I can do it because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this movie, and for me to wear this mask and keep the same expressions, kind of smiling right now, really cheesing, to keep the same expressions and do this review seriously, I just don't think I can do it. I'm not sure how Michael Fassbender did it, but he did one heck of a job in this movie for doing Frank and expression, making his emotions feel like given, like you felt his emotions in this movie. But for me to do this review, this mask is coming off. And today, I'm gonna review the movie Frank. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka, and what's Movie Breakdowns? Movie review series where we look at new and old movies, give them a grade A through F, plus and minuses do count. And this review you want me to do, let me know. Please put in the comment section below and I get to as best I can. I also have a Patreon, Patreon/Ali Zakka, and for $2 a month, you can jump in front of everybody else. You pay for my Patreon as we do a review. I get to immediately. Shout out to Ty the Phoenix, who is a Patreon member. Any review he has me to do, I do it immediately because he's paying for my services. And also have another tier which you get trailer reaction, trailer review, much more content. Now, let's go and get today's review of Frank. So Frank is also a review request. Back on a movie, I'm not sure which one was it. It's been a while, but it probably happened maybe summer, if not the fall of 2020. Somebody asked me, can you review the movie Frank? And I was like, sure, I guess I can review it. And I looked it up and I saw that Michael Fassbender was in it. And I was like, huh. But I never got around to it. And finally, after seeing the movie About Time and seeing Domhnall Gleeson in it, and then seeing, you know, a bunch of other movies with Michael Fassbender in it, the X-Men series, and how great of an actor Michael Fassbender is, I was like, alright, I'm gonna give this movie a shot. Let me go find Frank, one, because of request, two, because I'm actually genuinely curious in this movie. And I feel like, on prefaces right now, I might get the fans of this movie some anger. I might make them mad because I like to be honest with my reviews here. But I actually enjoyed this movie, and there's things that I enjoy about it, also like things I didn't enjoy about it, but for the most part, I had a good time with this movie. So what is this movie about? This movie is about a guy named John who is an aspiring musician. He's trying to come up with music, and he gets the opportunity to join this eccentric band with the lead singer is named Frank. He gets the opportunity to join this band, and when he joins them, he's trying to find a way to get them to stardom. And by him doing this and his goal of getting them to stardom, and him also becomes a successful musician, it kind of draws a rift between the rest of the members. And that's pretty much Frank in a nutshell. But there's so much more that goes on in this movie. So much more. So my first thoughts here, this movie is an hour and 35 minutes long. Matter of fact, I found it on YouTube, the full review, the full movie, that's full review, but the full movie on YouTube. You can go out there and find it and watch it yourself if you have not seen this movie. I definitely worth you take the time to invest in this movie. An hour and 35 minutes today compared to most movies are 2 hours and 30 minutes. This movie is short, but it's a solid short movie. From Maggie Gyllenhaal, from Michael Fassbender to Domhnall Gleeson, the acting in this movie is great. You feel for the characters, you get attached to the characters. The only thing that bothers me a little bit is because of that time of an hour and 35 minutes, you really don't get the unravel of certain stuff when it happens. You don't get that unravel and laid out in a path where, like, okay, I feel like the characters finally understood what they was doing was wrong, or finally understood what they was doing was right. This is a spoiler review, so I will get into more details later, but for the most part, because that time, the hour and 35 minute time limit, it's good for this movie. It is good for the movie, but a nitpick for me is that I just felt like when a certain event happened and you see like, oh, maybe they were right the whole time and he was wrong, and then everything goes to hell in a handbasket and the resolution happens, it's just like, yeah, I had time to think about it and there's that. And like, did the main character really feel like he really developed at the end of the movie? I don't know. And that one thing that I think to me is kind of like, it's a nitpick for me, because besides that, you can say he did have that character growth and development, but at the same time, it happened so quick because the time frame of the movie was 1 hour and 35 minutes. I think this movie was 2 hours long. That revelation of, oh, I really screwed the pooch here, let me make everything right, probably would have dragged out a little longer. But that's just me. Also, some of the things like, there's an awkward sex scene in this movie, which even the character himself makes joke of how awkward it is. I was like, was that necessary? Did it need to be put into the movie? But other than that, I really enjoyed it. When I got the request to do this and I actually looked into it and looked up the movie, I was like, okay, it's a musician movie, a movie about music. So I want to know who the protagonist, the antagonist is. And as you're watching this movie does give you a twist on who you think the antagonists and protagonists are. And when that happens, you're like, oh, wow, okay. So maybe the one we're rooting for the whole time isn't the one we should be rooting for. I did enjoy that. I do like that. This movie, by the way, while I'm looking it up, was written by John Rawson and Peter Songhan, and directed by Lenny Abrahamson, which I think they did a good job. Those three wrote this movie. I think they did a good job on that. And this movie's budget for this cast, this movie budget is only, no, they didn't give me a budget. It just said how much it grossed. So worldwide, it grossed $1 million. Huh. I guess it's a cult classic movie. Movie came out in the year 2014. Interesting. It came out on my birthday too, in the United States. I wonder how much money this movie made overseas. Cause this movie definitely a United Kingdom movie in Ireland. It says country of origin, United Kingdom and Ireland. I'm curious to see how much money this movie made overseas. Oh, interesting. This movie filmed in Albuquerque, New Mexico, USA. Neat. Here's others. Dublin County, Dublin, Ireland, Texas was credited. Austin, Texas for South by Southwest Festival, which I thought was pretty cool that was in this movie. I didn't see that coming. But yeah, filming actually happened in Ireland, a lot of it in Ireland and in the United States. So nice. It's pretty neat. I really wish I knew how much money this movie made overseas. If you guys, it said gross worldwide $1 million. But I feel like that's too cheap for this movie. I feel like this movie should make more money. But the fact that I'm just now hearing about this movie in the year 2020, 2021 says something, that this movie didn't get enough press, which it should have gotten much, much more press. This cast is great. Really great. Okay, let me go ahead and talk about the actors and actresses. Michael Fassbender as Frank is phenomenal. Like, he did a great job. His emotions, his expressions, you can hear when he is cheery in Frank's inside the helmet, because he's wearing the helmet on for pretty much the whole movie, and you can hear his expressions, you can hear the way he sounds and the way he moves, to give joy and give like sadness and sorrow. I thought it was a great job, and the rest of the cast interacted with him even though they can't see his face. I thought they did a great job as well. Domhnall Gleeson as John. Domhnall Gleeson is great as well. He gave life to the character of John, which John, you thought, like as I was saying earlier, you kind of think like he is the protagonist of the story. You're seeing everything introduced through his eyes, and then there's a part of the movie where it shifts. It's no longer you're experiencing it through his eyes. You're kind of seeing the picture as a whole, and you're like, wow, okay, John, you're kind of a jerk, really a big jerk. Wow. Oh, and let's flip it back to Frank real quick. So Frank, everybody keeps saying Frank has a mental illness. In reality, I think he's actually on the spectrum. I think he has a level of autism that he's really creative, but the helmet for him kind of like hides himself from the world. Like he doesn't want to be seen in that light. And there's an ending scene in this movie that really like shows how he feels about everything, and it's a really like touching moment when, with like his mask off, he's kind of down and really down, and then when he sees his friends again, he lifts his head up. I like the directing of that. The directing of this movie by Lenny Abrahamson. I'm not sure, I can't say Abrahamson, I can just say Abraham by itself. Lenny Abrahamson is great. I'm jumping from characters here to the directing, because the lighting he put certain characters in, like how he has Maggie Gyllenhaal like in a dark light most of the time, or a gray tone, while John's character's in a brighter tone. There's a particular scene I really think about in the bar where they have the crew, or I guess the band, in this gray tone light, and then John is on this brighter light, even though it shows that one group is feeling sorrow and sadness, while another person is kind of just like, I'm fine by myself, but I do feel some sympathy or empathy. It was kind of a neat contrast there that I think this movie does a great job of. And I think the director did a great job throughout the movie. You should look at those kind of tones and settings. But as I talked about Maggie, let's talk about Maggie Gyllenhaal, who plays Claire. She is a solid character. Maggie does a great job giving this character to life. Like, you feel that she's threatening, you feel like she's sinister, but at the same time has a moment of joy and glee and happiness, and kind of spiteful in a certain sense. And a reason why, her motivation for Frank, she doesn't want to lose him, and she feels like them getting bigger kind of will make the rest of the world attract Frank, and she will actually lose him as a person, and she doesn't want to do that. So she's like trying to sabotage the group in spitefulness and for her love of Frank. I think it's really strong, and she expresses that. Scoot McNairy, who plays Don, I thought he did a great job as well. Like, you feel for his character. Scoot does a good job bringing that character to life. Francis Civil, who plays Baroque, who's a French guy, he was cool. And then Carla Arzar, who plays Nana, I thought she did a great job as well. Like, this movie is solid, and I really think this movie should get more press. It's a solid movie. Alright, music is great. I think the music's solid. I think everything about this movie is solid. I enjoyed this movie a lot, actually. And looking back on it, the one thing, I don't really want to spoil it, you know, I can give little bits and pieces, but I get the one thing I really like about it is the story. The story of this movie is solid. You're following the eyes of John, and you're kind of like behind him most of the movie, and then you see what happens, and you kind of like, wait a minute, is he the antagonist of the story? Dun, dun, dun. And it's a pretty neat movie. It's really neat, and it should get more credit. I'm gonna get grading, but I can't skip grading because, you know, is this a Friday night movie? Yeah, it's a Friday night movie. Watch a movie with your friends and family, and now grading time. I'm gonna grade the movie Frank from 2014 an A-. This movie is a solid movie. It got some things that I nitpick about, like the awkward sex scene, the resolution stuff happens so quick, but the characters and the actors and actresses are getting so much into it, and I feel like Parts of the story wasn't fully fleshed out, especially with the resolution with John. But other than that, it is solid. It's a story you can follow behind, see it from the perspective of John, see what he's doing, and then see the debacle, and then see the closing of it. And it's pretty neat. It's neat. I enjoyed this movie, an A-. If you've seen the movie Frank, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys next episode of Movie Breakdowns, and keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, you want to see what else I'm doing in my normal life and other things that's going on, please follow me on Instagram at Ali_Zakka. I'll put it right here around my face. Yep, right there. Also, if you want more episodes of Movie Breakdowns or Grind Towards Success or whatever it is I'm doing on YouTube, you know what? Follow my page right here, like I said before, the little comment thing right there, And then you can watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns right here, and watch the last episode of Grind Towards Success right there. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all. See y'all next time. Keep being awesome.